Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Real Conversations in the QC. Thanks for being with us. I'm Redrick Terry. On this special episode, we are coming to you this month from TNBC at the Lincoln Resource Center in Davenport. It's a program that's focused on empowering and educating children and communities and family through wholesome opportunities. This is a program that's been around since 2016, and it has shown a lot of growth from its very small beginnings inside a church to where it is now here at the Lincoln Center in Davenport. We're actually coming to you from the TNBC Library, a very fantastic venue with a whole bunch of books for kids of all ages. These books actually come through our book drive that we hold at KWQC as well. And this is just one of the many things that this place has to offer here, TNBC at the Lincoln Center. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about on today's show. We're going to discuss those beginnings, how it got started, what it's grown into today, looking ahead to the future, what they hoped for it to be as it continues to make a huge difference in our community. So first, let's hear from two of the people behind this fantastic resource. All right, we're joined now by Tracy Singleton, the Executive Director of the Lincoln Center and the President of Together Making a Better Community, Pastor Roger Stewart. Thank you both for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, this is a very important episode for us because TNBC at the Lincoln Center has such a huge part in what we do here on Real Conversations. So it's exciting to be able to get to know TNBC and what it was when it first started and what it's been throughout these years. So let's start with that. Exactly. How did TNBC get started and what was its focus?
It started with a vision that I felt that was given to me to have something in our community that really reaches into our community. Third Missionary Baptist Church has always been a very active church. Our motto of our church is a church committed to ministry. About almost 20 years ago, we put together a plan where we was working with the Y and other things, and we saw the church as being kind of the nucleus, the wheel and the sports, going out into the community, addressing the many different needs of our community. So that was the vision, and it came into fruition a few years ago by acquiring this particular building that we can continue those ministries into our community.
Yeah. You talked about how community-driven this program is. The C in TNBC is community. Tell me, what is it exactly that this program offers to the community?
It offers so much. I mean, it's designed that whatever our community needs, you can find it right here. Being in the particular neighborhood that we're in, it really affects those individuals that's in our community, those of color, low income, those kind of things. So it really just meet those needs and I guess that's how I can only put it. It meets the needs, and as you see that in going around, it does just that. Whether it's kids, whether it's adults, we did parenting classes, whether it's basketball, or whether it's boxing, or whether it's dance, art, whatever it is, whatever our community needs, we've had feeding programs and all of those things right out of this that reaches out into our community.
Yeah, and Pastor, I'm glad you mentioned the neighborhood. This is a very specific area that was in need of something like this. Tracy, talk about that need in this neighborhood, particularly in Davenport, and what the need was for a resource like this.
So this neighborhood, which is basically the east side of Davenport, according to the last census, is the highest population of Black residents in the Quad Cities. So they're residing right here. But if you go back and look, when it came to redlining in the city of Davenport, documented, it says don't invest in those residents that live south of Locust and north of the East Village. That's this right here. And if you go through the neighborhood, even still today, there's no grocery stores, no businesses, no banks, no medical facilities, no walk-in clinics, no gas stations. There's nothing here. There's been no investment in this side of town. So when we came here, and I came on about a year after they acquired the building, I had to take a hard look. And yeah, we could have these great events and these wonderful programs, but our responsibility were to the residents that lived in this neighborhood. So that's why the business center opened. That's why the library opened. That's why we now have a walk-in clinic, because we had to address those needs of the people that are living right here because this is where we are.
Certainly. And going back a little bit, you were talking about the acquiring of this building. Talk about that process, what that looked like, and obviously what it's turned into today is something very special, and it took a lot of work to get to this point.
We're going to open up that wound. But as you know, we bidded on the building along with some other people, and fortunate enough, we were able to acquire it. The school board voted to sell the building to us, not give the building to us, but to sell the building to us. One of the problems was that there was someone who had bidded higher, and the community, for some reason, did not want us to have this facility. And you heard the talks about it, and we wouldn't keep it, and there was so much about us acquiring this building. But we never did really come out and see anything in the press. So we just put our head down and kept working. And thank God for Tracy coming on board and being our executive director. But we made a presentation to the school about a year after acquiring it to let them know, look how far we've come. All the naysayers in this in our city who said that we weren't going to make it, and we shouldn't have gotten the building. And here we are now, several years later, and seeing all of the things that's going on in our community with the benefits that we have provided for our community, in spite of all of the negative things that went on.
Yeah, that has to be a fantastic feeling. And Tracy being a big part of that, what are your thoughts on it? Seeing where it's come from where it started, and then obviously all the controversy that went with it.
Right. Well, I'll be honest. Like, I read the paper just like everybody else because, as I said, I wasn't involved in those beginning stages. And so when I did come on board, I remember people were starting to see that something was happening up here. And I called Pastor and I was like, hey, I got a call. They want to do an interview. He was like, no. He said, just do the work. And so every day I come in and I just do the work because the work then speaks for itself. Right. And, for me personally, because I take it personal now, for those that said, oh, they're not going to be here past a year or they're not going to do anything, I literally come into work every day with a chip on my shoulder because I want to show them, no, we are doing what was supposed to be happening here. And you can talk about money left on the table. You can talk about, oh, this could have went back on the property tax rolls. And I will always ask, but what value can you put on a life impacted because they came to the Lincoln Center? You can't put a value on that. And so I will continue to just do the work and we will continue to grow. And at some point in time, people will have to just be like, you know what, they're not going anywhere. Let's just go ahead and embrace what they're doing over here and see what we can do to help support that growth.
And it's not just a life impact, it is lives impacted, several lives. Talk about the people who benefit directly from this resource being here in this area.
Anyone that walks in the doors, especially if you're part of the Black community, we are 12% of the population in the entire Quad Cities. So many times you will be the only Black person in your office. You will be the only Black student in your classroom. You may be the only Black person playing on your baseball team. And that gets exhausting at the end of the day. It really does. As an adult, I get exhausted, so I don't even know how kids can handle that. So when they're able to come into the Lincoln Center and know that this is Black founded, this is Black led, there are Black organizations that are in here, and there's a building full of people that look just like you, even if it's only for that time that you're here for basketball practice or boxing practice or attending a program, we've created a safe space, not only for the Black community, but we have also opened the doors for those that want to engage with the Black community because we are the hub. We have everyone here. And so if there is a group that has a DEI initiative or wants to be able to do something for Black History Month or Juneteenth, they know they can call the Lincoln Center and we're going to make that happen.
Yeah. And Pastor Kirk, being a part of this, a big part of this community for so long, how important is it to have a place like that that provides that safe space, that hub, if you will, for people of color in this community?
And it's so important. If, as Tracy was saying, if you was raised in a situation where you were the only one, I went to college in 1969, 17-year-old student, and integrating the university that I went to, it was how you felt when you go in the class, you're the only student. You have the answer, but the teacher wouldn't call on you. You raise your hand and you wouldn't call on you. That feeling and knowing that now it doesn't matter. You can go, as Tracy called it, a safe space. You can go and see people like you. The people who runs it look like you. You know, it's like when we was coming up in a segregated school. Didn't mean to bring that up, but all my teachers looked like me. You know, if they went to the same church. It's not like that now. It wasn't coming up here, but it's finding that people really care. You come here, you're not a number. You come to be a part where people genuinely care about you as a person, whether you in a dance group or you're boxing or whatever activity that's going on in here, whether it's Juneteenth, you're around people who genuinely care about you. That's what makes one of the reasons that makes this so important, to have people that really care you. So, yeah.
Now, when you look at how TMBC started, and you look today as we stand here in this beautiful building that has served as such a resource, as we just mentioned, what makes you so proud of this program and its growth?
Well, you know, I'm a minister, so I don't apologize for the fact that I believe that favor is not fair. And I think God gave us favor. And acquiring this building, it wasn't any grant money that kept this going when the utilities and all that, before we have what we have now. It was those people of the church, our executive board, who literally went into their pockets and paid for everything. I mean, we literally paid everything that needs to be done. And so what makes me proud to see the labor pay off, see the vision coming into fruition. We're not there yet, but every day we see something different, you know, and we see it coming into fruition. We see more and more people coming to be a part of it. We see more and more individuals who are willing to put in to the work, you know, that we are doing here. So that makes me proud, and just to see how God has allowed this to come into fruition. And so, you know, so I don't apologize, as Trace would say. I don't, you know, I give God praise for this, you know, and that's why I believe the first meeting that we had when the next day after we bought the building, we were down in one of the rooms, and we knew that little five individuals, we knew that this building was ours. We knew that it was divinely placed for us to do the work that we done. Tracy coming, it was no happenstance. It was divinely inspired. We talked about that, how it was divinely inspired that we would come here and do this work, and that's why we've been doing the work.
Yeah, speaking of doing the work, obviously Pastor mentioned, even though it is beautiful here and it's been fantastic, not quite there yet when you talk about the accomplished vision. In your eyes, Tracy, what does that accomplished vision look like?
So I have like this board in my, it takes up a whole wall, right? And I put things on there, and it might be some random things just so I can cross it off. Yeah. But then it's very specific goals. And what eventually I would love for us to get to is to be self-sustainable. The grants are wonderful, and we have wonderful allies in the community, and we have wonderful people who have donated and have given gifts. But at some point in time, you do want to become sustainable, and so that you don't always have to count on that. And although we have a really good relationship with them right now, if someone new were to come in, they might not care about the Lincoln Center. And so then where does that leave us? And so it's creating these spaces within the building that will make us sustainable. Our auditorium is next on that big old board of things that need to get done, because we feel if we can get our auditorium up to par, that opens us up to be able to have plays and rent things out and have speaker series and little concerts, and we can have something here every weekend. working with the creatives in the community and the different organizations that are in the community. So it's creating more spaces within here so that we can have that sustainability where we're not always relying on other people to decide, yes, we want to help them. We can just help ourselves. There are lots of models here locally and even nationwide where they have an endowment and they're living off of that, and that's every year that money's just always going to be there. So I'm not leaving until that happens, and I want to retire to Aruba soon. So I have to push and push and push to make sure that happens. But I will also say the one thing that I'm very proud of is, yes, we have wonderful people who contribute to us, but we have contributed back to the community through the work that's being done here in the Lincoln Center. We haven't gone through the official numbers yet, but well over $300,000 has gone back out through vendors, through contractors, through business accelerator, business incubator. So when people want to say, oh, they got that for us still, and they think about, we've put 10 times of that back out into our community, our entire community.
Yeah, and that seems like that was kind of the goal, right? As a community-driven business, if you will, not quite business, but space, really, a community-driven space. That's really the goal, right? When you can put back into the community.
Exactly.
Talk about that importance and what that was like in terms of what you wanted to do coming into this space.
I will say I'm a big believer in you get back what you put out there, right? And so if you put good out, you get good back. And our programs are specifically designed to support Black businesses and help the Black community and help Black parents and help and empower Black children. And so when we can see that happening real time, because sometimes you're like, oh, I gotta wait till they get older, or we have to wait to see if this worked. But when you're able to see it happen real time right in front of your eyes, then that is just confirmation that this was supposed to be here and we're supposed to be doing what we're doing because that is what was supposed to happen. And so every day I'm humbled when I walk in these doors because sometimes people just ask for the littlest of things and we're able to provide that, but it makes a big difference to them. But I'm also honored that God has blessed me to be in this position. You know, I went through a lot. I always say the good and the bad is what prepared for me to be here.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, Tracy, Pastor Kirk, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you again for having us.
Of course. Well, as we just heard, there are a lot of events you can enjoy here at the Lincoln Center. And for a preview of what you can expect, here's Jasmine Butler.
Welcome back to Real Conversations. I'm Jasmine Butler, and today I will be chatting with a couple of the organization leaders that are housed here at the Lincoln Center. So I have Marcel Kirk here, Teresa Babers, and Kina Hodges here with me. Thank you guys for joining. So first, let's, again, I already introduced you guys, so let's say what organization you guys have that's here, housed here in the Lincoln Center.
Okay, so my name is Marcel Kirk, and I am co-owner and operator of Royal Drama Dance Team, located here in Athens.
I am Teresa Babers, and I am co-founder of Love Girls Magazine. And we've been housed here now for like 3 years.
My name's Lakina Hodges, Kina for short. The actual name of my nonprofit, of which I am CEO and president, founder, is Kina's House of Love, but here I house Kina's Corner
Okay.
for kids.
Well, again, thank you guys for joining in, and Happy New Year. So let's dig in. So tell me about your organization's mission and goals to our community. So we'll start here with you, Marcel.
Okay, so at Royal Drama, our main goal and mission is to reinstate morals, ethics, and values back into the inner city youth. So we're just basically focused on letting kids be kids again and doing things that kind of are nostalgically child-oriented.
And primarily dance.
So we do a big amount of dancing. We go into the community nursing homes and other things like that to kind of try to bring a little cheer, joy at places where you couldn't find them or find youth. So that's kind of one of our biggest contributions right now, is just kind of like getting out and letting the kids just kind of get out and be themselves and express themselves through dance.
Yeah, that's fun. Teresa?
So Our overall mission is to address leadership and self-esteem in young women. Initially, we started off for young women 13 years and older, 13 to 24. But we have piloted recently some sixth graders who are participating in kind of like a pre-Love Girls magazine. And they get all kinds of opportunities to tell their stories and tell the stories of other women and girls. So our motto is because every girl has a story. So they do that either through writing for hard copy magazine, online, video, social media. Love Girls the podcast are some of the ways over the years that we've added to the hard copy magazine to give them an opportunity to tell their stories and be supported.
And these girls are actually writing your stories and publishing them, right?
Yes. Yeah. And typically they're writing their own story. And, you know, the every girl has a story. We say that because a lot of girls are like, well, I don't have a story. Like, nothing dramatic or exciting has happened to me. But, you know, we always say, don't be afraid to tell your story because there's always somebody who will relate to it. So it might be normal milestones that happen in their life, like losing a grandmother, or it may be that their family has struggled financially. Maybe they've been in foster care. Maybe, you know, they've been a spectacular athlete and they've gotten a lot of accolades for that. Maybe they've been bullied. So it can be their strengths and accomplishments, but it can also be the struggles that they've overcome.
That's awesome.
Kina? Oh, jeez. Got an hour or so? Well, initially we started Kina's House of Love in hopes of getting a house to house single women without children. And I specify that because women with children definitely get the last bed in a domestic violence shelter. I was that one that was in a domestic relationship, sex trafficked, raped, homeless at 12. So these things, I mean, I lived it all too well. So that's my main passion. But then I don't have any kids due to those things. So Kina's Corner, we basically just want to be non-judgmental. We want to love like God say love, equally, pray for one another and don't bash one, you know, speak life. And so that's what I do with the women. We do like makeovers. And boy, the last one we did, they talked about for months. It's like, when are we going to do that again? Because if you look good, you feel good, and then you want to do better. So, we do a lot. I do a lot of diverse events because I feel it's necessary for people to understand one another's culture instead of assuming, because we're quick to do that. And I work with kids at Kina's Corner. So I started that program in honor of a young girl that was murdered. And for all the rest of the 1 in 3 kids that are molested by the time they're 5. So what we do there is we do art therapy, paint therapy, ways of coping is what we teach them. And we do a lot of that through behavioral modification. So we have a program also called Gifts for Good Grades. So this year we're going to work on a STAR system. You complete that and bring me good grades and you get gifts. I have over 200 nieces and nephews, so I never was a Christmas person because I couldn't afford it, for one. So it's just a good way for any family to actually implement that in their child's life, you know, and get that behavior right and get them grades right. So that's just a couple of the things I could go on and on. Coat drives, hygiene drives. I feed on Sundays at the shelter on a clock. Now it used to be 11:30. But yeah, I started this in 2019.
Yeah.
And so this year we finally got enough grant funding, to get a house. So I'm really, really excited about that. I was lost for words when they told me. So it was through Bechtel Trust who finally gave me that chance and stuck their neck out. And so I'm excited about being able to get these women up the street. So if anybody want to match that, yeah.
I think it's amazing that we have
such diverse organizations here that help the community through, like, you know, yours is specifically girls, but yours is both boys and girls, and then you have girls and women. So that's very, very amazing. So Rick, what resources or services does your organization provide to this particular community? So we've learned through other discussions that we've had in Real Conversations that this is considered one of the poorest areas in Davenport. So what does your organization service provides this area?
Well, with the Royal Drama Dance Team, one of the things that we kind of pride ourselves on being able to provide for this community is a safe, clean, and comfortable place to learn, for children to be able to fellowship. And here at the TNBC, they have resources and facilities that allow us to do other things like basketball, theater, and just like rooms to party and be able to celebrate some of our accomplishments. So to be here at the TNBC was kind of really a godsend for us. But we also just kind of try to take that and provide crafting classes, just different basic skills that you can kind of, for lack of better words, sneak up on kids and they don't know that they're learning, but they're actually having fun doing it. So we kind of hone in on those type of things. Just getting back to changing light bulbs, car tires, just different things that are part of growing up that you get when you have a full family, or if you have a diverse group of people in your family, men, women, and uncles, aunties that can help you. But in situations where they just don't know these things. So we bring them here and we kind of sneak it on them, you know, and just try to give them that in this safe place, you know what I mean? And that's kind of one of the bigger things that we provide for the community, is somewhere that they can send their kids and not have to worry about will they make it back or what's going to happen while they're there. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of one of the things we just kind of try to give them a safe place to receive our message and to be able to execute what it is that we ask for.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Teresa?
So, you know, I think when I think about, you know, what is the impact on this particular community, for one, there's never any charge to young women to participate in our organization. So we've removed that barrier. Also, we try to give young women opportunities that they may not have. One of the things is that when they write articles for a magazine, or they help produce social media or other things to help tell their stories, we pay them for that. So they're able to earn a stipend, which can be helpful. Also, that's a way that we show that we value women and girls. Whatever we can pay people who contribute, we do, because we're saying you have value. So, and then also we target particular schools. And one of those schools, not too far from the Lincoln Center, is Madison Elementary School. So we have a school-based mentoring program there. We meet with the girls regularly. We read and discuss stories from the magazine, but also novels and books. We do vision boards, and we give them opportunities for leadership. We invite them to our events, Girls on Fire, the Love Awards, and things like that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Just actually piggybacking off of what they said, we just want to make sure that kids can be kids. In this neighborhood, a lot of times, you know, in poor neighborhoods, a lot of parents go out and they're out overnight and they're drunk and then or whatever, sleeping in. So, you know, and one of the other opportunities is that we get to feed them. We want to make sure they get something to eat, along with playtime. You know, when they come in to Keena's Corner, usually now you'll see a pile of shoes at the door because they feel at home, you know, and I like that about it. And so it's basically just that. I mean, as far as in terms of the kids, but we do have items like right now we have coats, hats, different resources that we send them to if they need it. But I mean, I'm all over the place. So if you call me, more than likely I know somewhere to go. So, so that's pretty much.
So how can people get involved or contribute to your organization? Everyone.
I know there's one answer we're all going to say, and that's, you know, money. So I'm just going to jump in and say that.
I could start off by saying ways that people contribute is by volunteering. We're located at the TMBC. We have dance practices on Mondays and Wednesdays as of now, but we're looking to open that up to a Monday through Friday to try to get more participation from the community. But if you come here, you can go to Facebook, Royal Drama Dance Team. We're located here. We're always outside. We're always in the community doing something. So if you see someone out in a Royal Drama shirt, dare to ask. You know, it's just kind of like, we have it, we're here, we're like every mailbox on every house. Everyone has one, but no one knows it's it until something happens to it.
Right.
So, you know, we're here. That's kind of, if you want to, just don't feel afraid to approach us, ask, but we're always here at the TNBC. So you can always come here and help.
So if a parent is interested in just for dance, like to get their child involved in dance, is that something that they can just email or contact me and say, hey,
Yes. So
little wants to
right. So we have business cards and different pieces of information that we put out in the community for people to be able to contact us. But if you want to, you can definitely come here, or you can contact us at any one of the 3 numbers on the business card, and they'll give you the information. And generally, we just ask for them to come in and observe a class before we ask them for anything or ask them to commit to it. It's just like observe it, see if you like it, see if the environment and the atmosphere is something that you're comfortable with. And if it is, and the parents are, you know, kind of encouraged to stay and watch so that they know what's going on. And then if they feel like this is something that they can do or contribute to, or just the kid has an interest, then we let them, you know. And if they can't pay, then we just sponsor them. You know, it's really, it actually takes finances to do some of these things, but for the things that it don't cost, we do that all day, every day. So don't feel afraid to come in, because it's not the money that we want, it's the change that we want.
Yes, I love that.
So on our website, lovegirlsmagazine.com, there's a volunteer application that people fill out, and that's usually where they start when they want to volunteer. There's real specific ways that people can help. You might think, well, I'm not a writer, so what could I do? I don't make videos, I'm not in media. We do have some other opportunities for volunteering. We really need volunteers when we do our 2 major events of the year. And one of those is our Girls on Fire, a storytelling and leadership conference. And then our other one is the Love Awards, where we honor and celebrate young women in the community and their stories. And so it takes a lot of volunteers to bring those events together. And then also, if you are a writer or a storyteller, we have writing mentors. And what they do is they help girls pull together their story, help them proof them, help with grammatical things and things like that. And they're able to do that remotely without physically, you know, Zoom calls and phone calls and email. They're able to do those things. So those are the primary ways people can volunteer. But we're always open to women with ideas and suggestions about how we can better help the girls in our community. So if people have ideas, they should just reach out.
Yeah. And then Marcel, so it sounds like to me like it's like a mentor program, like a little, like big sister, little sister ordeal. So do you have something like that too, where you have like maybe like dance instructors who are like that big brother, big sister for them, or are you creating all those dance moves?
Well, our choreographer, his name is Laderick Gamble. He's my nephew, real awesome guy. He's been participating in almost all of the dance programs in the area, from Metro all the way up to mentoring other people who started groups in the area. So he's really awesome. We kind of go with him, but the parents kind of volunteer towards things that we gear our mission towards. So if we see a need for a specific issue, then we'll have a meeting about it, and then we'll try to figure out the best way to approach that need, and then how we can fix it, or at least alert the person that's in that predicament on how to get out and how to go forward, you know, with resources and help that are available. So we don't necessarily have a team of choreographers. We have one. So all those dope Royal Drama moves that you see, you can really credit those to Laderick Gamble, but we're looking for expansion. So we're looking for more people that are willing to offer time and their know-how and educate the next class so that we can keep that.
Right.
So we got dancers, we got writers, and content creators, and then we have Miss Kenna here.
Yes, that's it. No, so, we definitely need volunteers. I'm a little strict about that because predators don't have faces, and I have to be blunt when I say this. If they cannot pass a background check, they can't work with the kids. And so I have a hard time with that, gathering people to do that, the volunteering. I don't know if some may find it offensive, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. Thank you to Pastor Kirk in the Lincoln Center, because we'll be going in our third year here. But we do have a website. I have Facebook, which is what I do more of my funny stuff on, and my mostly updated events coming up. By the way, if anybody wants to join the mob this year, let me know. We're going to do our second flash mob. I'm excited about that.
Look here.
We did our first one last year, so I was really excited. I was the first one to do one in Davenport. Yay. But we got a whole bunch of different events coming up, and most of them are posted. Akina's on the Facebook one quicker than the Google page, and you can also donate there. Our main objective right now is to try and get matching funds to get that house. Okay, that's my passion. That's what I'm going in here first for this year. These women are getting raped right there on the premises, and the police won't do nothing about it, and they still have to stay in there with their abuser. It's unfair. So that's really just down in my heart and what I want to do. Of course, I'm not going. My babies is my babies. They're gonna stay there, Keena's Corner. God's will still be there, but that's the way you can help. You can Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We got it all. But yeah, you can go through the website and donate anytime. But yeah, just give me a call if you have questions. All my information is on my website.
And how to sign up to be a volunteer.
There is also a volunteer form that you can go right online and it'll come right to my email. Mm-hmm. And so,
so we got Facebook for Royal Drama, Facebook and lovegirlsmagazine.com.
Yes.
And then Facebook.
And Keena's House of Love.com.
And Keena's House of Love. So that's how we can connect with you guys. Thank you guys so much and for everything that you guys do here in the community and for the children. Because that's where it counts and it matters, our community. So yeah, thank you guys again.
All right. Thank you.
So we've seen the venue and we've learned what it has to offer. Let's talk about some of the groups that help make this place the valuable and diverse resource that it is. And for that, once again, we go back to Jasmine Butler.
Welcome back to Real Conversations. I'm Jasmine Butler, and today I have Alexandria Morello here, and she is the event coordinator at the Lincoln Center. So today we'll be discussing some of the monthly events that are held here for the community. Alexandria, thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
So the Lincoln Center hosts a few events throughout the year. So it's the Black History in the Village, the Cops and Kids, the Juneteenth Festival, Back to School Block Fest, the Trick or Treat in the Village, and then Thanksgiving baskets, and then the Holiday Village.
Yeah.
So what's the purpose of these events?
So I would say the main purpose of the events is just getting the community together. We're here for the community. The community is our main focus. So we don't want it to just be all work and no play. We want them to have resources, but to also have a hub to come to enjoy themselves and come together as a community and be with their neighbors or someone that they see at the gas station all the time, but know that we're all one community and we can celebrate being a community as well.
I love that. So how do you determine which months will have a community event, and what's the thought process behind those specific events?
So a lot of the events are centered around like the major holidays. We just don't want anybody in the community to be alone during the holidays or feel like they can't celebrate because they might not have this or that or the other. So we really would like to hone in on the resources that we have available to give back to them so that you don't have to not celebrate. You have somewhere you can come to have some sort of a celebration during that holiday month.
And then how do these events impact the
The number one focus on the event itself is to give back. So even with like Thanksgiving event, that's mainly making sure that family has a basket to take back to their home to host an event on their own, to have a Thanksgiving meal. Trick-or-treating, you know, some people don't celebrate a certain way or don't feel comfortable. This last one, we had snow, I'm pretty sure. So that was just crazy. So it's just a safe space to bring you and your family in a community-centered place and be able to celebrate and bring the community together for that particular event or holiday.
Right. I think that's amazing. I've been to a few of the community events that you guys have, and I've learned coming here that, like you said, it's being together, but also it's educational as well. Because
Absolutely.
I believe at the Halloween one, we had the pickles
Absolutely.
and peppermint, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is a real thing.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing.
So I think that you guys are giving little fun information, or you know, about our culture that
Absolutely.
we don't even know of. So that's great. Are there any opportunities for volunteering or getting involved in community events?
At two of the major events that they have, I know the community center has partnered with Essentra and Scott Community Health Department. So I definitely think there are very vast opportunities for more connections and more partnerships. As far as people in the community volunteering, you can stop in the front office, you can reach out. There's definitely a numerous amount of time and space around this whole entire school for people to come to the community and give back if they choose.
Great. And in 2024, what can we expect out of the community events at the Lincoln Center?
I mean, every year that this community center has been around, it hasn't been around for a long time. It's just continuing to grow and to thrive. So, I mean, I definitely would say to be on the lookout in 2024. I think it's a great opportunity for even more just growth and expansion. So just a little at a time, but I do think there's going to be a lot of great new things popping up in 2024.
I second that, and I look forward to it. I know for the Juneteenth celebration last year, we were across the street.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, what is
Expanding.
2024 going to be like?
I know. Bigger, better.
And then how should the community stay informed on upcoming events?
I know they're really focusing right now on social media. I know social media is just a big thing for everybody. I would definitely say follow us on Facebook and make sure that you're just checking in, seeing what we have going on. Definitely just stopping into the community center, just seeing what has grown, what we do have going on here, meeting with the director and the assistant director. They're very great about just speaking with everybody and letting them know what's going on. But we do have a website and we do have social media, and that's just a great way to keep in contact with any organization.
What are the business hours?
So the business hours are kind of standard, just like an 8 to 4. You can always just stop into the front office. But if you do leave a message or send an email, again, the director and the assistant director are very great with getting back to everybody and answering their questions.
And one thing that I do want to add for our viewers as well is that, though, you can host events here. as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so you would be that contact person.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and if it's not me, somebody else will get back to you. But there is a community center. We've got a gym. There's outdoor space. We've got the playgrounds. I mean, if it's indoor, outdoor, whatever event you can think of, we've got ample space for you to be able to host your event here.
Alexandria, thank you for joining us, and I look forward to seeing all the events in 2024.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Now, throughout the businesses and organizations, there are also some really important life lessons being taught right here in the Lincoln Center, thanks to a very important mentorship program that's happening right in this building. For more on that, here's Evan Denton.
Keep them off the streets. That's the main thing.
Tucked inside the Lincoln Center, some of the best young Quad City boxers are perfecting their craft at Pena's Davenport Boxing Club.
My dad always did it where you get them here at about 4 o'clock. Get them right out of school so they don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble anywhere else. You know, get them here first.
Patrick Pena says the group is about much more than just jabs and uppercuts, but mentoring today's youth.
The main thing is to keep these kids a safe place to come. You know, they come here, learn a little discipline, you know, sportsmanship, you learn in confidence.
Over in the Lincoln Center gym, Nasir Shabazz leads Quick Drills basketball, and the focus isn't on who can score the most points.
Most of the kids we deal with, you know, they come from single parent homes, so some kids don't get the guidance that they need.
Primarily for 4th through 7th graders, Shabazz says he purposefully keeps the group size small.
As coaches and mentors, we're kind of that voice to kind of help them and lead them in the right direction.
It's an opportunity to help shape the next generation of Quad Cities youth through sports.
Just to see how everything is today, man. It's. I mean, I just sit back and look and I shake my head. Stealing cars and all this stuff, man. It's just, this is something, man. Hopefully, it gets them away from thinking about doing things like that. You know, it's really important for the kids to do something positive.
In Davenport, for Real Conversations, I'm Evan Denton.
And it's not just organizations that are here at the Lincoln Center. There are several small businesses as well that are using this space to continue to provide the products and services that they do to our community. And to introduce us to a few of those, here's Tim Stinson.
Welcome to Real Conversations. This time of year is kind of snowy outside, icy, dreary, but today, I tell you, we're in a special location. We are here at TMBC Lincoln Resource Center. I was talking to Gay here, and I'm gonna have Gay introduce herself in a second here, but I was telling her there's so much color here. Everything is just catching my eye. It's so beautiful in here and things. So we're warm in here today. We're gonna have a great conversation. I'm gonna let Gay, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself and your title and what is it that you do here?
Well, my name is Gay Shannon Burnett, and I am the co-founder and the executive director of Azimwiki, African American Council for the Arts. And I pretty much just, keep everything running. Okay. I teach the art classes. We have a film program, but we have filmmakers and instructors that come in during the summer because it's a summer program. Mm-hmm. And then we also have what we call a Film and a Conversation, which is a film watch. And yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then we have I teach art classes to young people. And we also just started a film festival called Pulling Focus. We started it last year around Juneteenth, and we'll have it again this year. It's annual. And so those are our main, programs and events. And we do a lot of other little things here and there.
Okay. Let's go to the art classes. Okay. Because I love art, and I used to take art classes. And so that tweaked the interest to me in things. Now, you said young. What's the ages that are coming in for the art?
We have kids as young as 6 years old, kindergartens, first grades. We like to have them when they've completed kindergarten so they understand sitting in your desk and raising your hand, right. and those type of, general rules of classrooms. But we go up to maybe about 16, 17. And then I do have special classes that I do with adult women mostly because we're the home to Wrapping Ourselves in God's Love, African American Breast Cancer Support Group. And so the ladies come in, not so much since COVID, but they are beginning to come back and have their meetings. But when I was located, because Azimwiki has been in existence, this is our 10th year. Okay. So we were located at Bucktown Center for the Arts for a long time, and we moved here during COVID. And so we've been here, 2020, I believe? Yeah.
Okay. Time of year to move during COVID.
Yeah, well, we didn't have a choice because they closed down Bucktown.
Right,
yeah.
Right. So, and I'm sure and I don't know this, a lot of other spaces out there. Why this space? Why here at the Lincoln Center?
Well, very specifically, when I heard that TMBC and Reverend Kirk had bought this and was making it into a community center for primarily the African American community, I wanted to be a part of that. And when I interviewed with the board and with Reverend Kirk, I told him, look, Azimwiki, we're in it for the long haul. I'm not looking for a place to rent. We're looking for a home. And so it just felt like home. They were gracious enough to, they said, this is our premium space. I said, that's why you need us here, because we're a premium organization. And I think they've been happy. I've been extremely happy because it is a great space and it allows us capacity to do more. Mm-hmm. And that's been really important to us.
Okay. The art classes. Talk about the art classes again. Is that year round? Is that summer?
The art classes are year round. Occasionally, if I have grants, and sometimes when I don't have grants, I still go into places like the King Center. I used to go into United Neighbors as an artist for years because I just felt it was important for young children to have access to, to arts. It's good for their development. It's good for their creativity. And when they had the Camp Excel this summer, I knew Matt McDowell from doing after-school programs when I worked in social services. So he said, well, I got these kids. I said, well, send them down. I said, I can't take them all at once. So we broke them into groups of 12. And so we would alternate them all summer. So, yeah, that's what, and the year-round ones, the kids come in, it's a Saturday morning art class that I did start when I was located in Bucktown, and I've continued. All of our programs are free to the kids because I look, when you come into, especially African American communities, I know everyone is not, disadvantaged, but we do have more challenges as Black people, and I think it's important to make sure that someone is providing, the benefits and opportunities and just knowledge at no cost, because I do believe in development of young people, and I don't want to put a price on it. So far we have been able to get grants and to keep it going, and I can always work for free, so it's no problem. If I'm here, we'll get it done.
Well, I think that's wonderful, and like you mentioned, showing the kids the opportunities, what's available out there, and in the arts. And arts is such a wide scope when talking arts. You had mentioned to me that I'm looking over here. You're doing something special with the. Talk about the piece over here that you're working on.
Okay. Well, I quilt during the winter months, and I like to put my quilts into different shows there. It's a really nice show that highlights African American women quilters, and that's in South Carolina. So I got accepted last year, and so hopefully they'll take my new quilts this year. But it's the thing about, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like a lot of kids nowadays don't sew. They don't know how to sew. They don't understand, quilting at all. So it's a craft that I feel that needs to be re-entered into the Black community. I did get a small grant, or I applied for a small grant for Ozembuike through the Iowa Arts Council, and we got it. And so it's Quilting Black History. So we'll have 10 kids, or 10 people, I don't know. It's a pilot program, so 10 people that sign up, we'll have them come in. It's going to be like a 6-week program, meeting maybe 3 times a week, and teaching them the art of quilting, of story quilting, and yes, they're going to have to learn how to, learn how to sew just a little. Yeah, but we're going to teach them all of that because it's important, and it's important to memorialize our history. And since that is my special talent, quilting, then I'd like to do it that way.
Okay. And you mentioned story quilting because you hear a lot of quilting. People talk about quilting, but that makes it special. That's story quilting.
Story quilting, yeah. I'm not like, there's people that quilt and they're just expert quilters. And they're story quilters, and some of them are expert quilters too. But I like to take my art and then put it into fiber medium. And so that's why story quilting works well for me. I've always sewn. I learned how to sew when I was like 9 years old. So that's been part of my life, for as long as I can remember. And now I can use it as my medium in art. And so I think that it works well for me. So yeah, hopefully. And that's one of the things that we try to tell young people. They don't see art as being an industry, and that there's different, parts of this industry that they could actually make a living out of. And, there's commercial artists, there's graphic artists, there's, people that design different things. So they need to understand that their artistic talents can be used, to fuel their life. They can, live off of those talents. Yeah, it's a little bit more complicated, but it can be done.
Let's kind of wrap things up a little bit here, but you had mentioned about the film opportunity there. We didn't talk about that. Give me a little more information on that.
Well, we have a program called Urban Exposure. It has been running for the last 9 years. We started it a year after we started Azumbwike, and it used to be a 10-week program, meeting 3 times a week, and for, I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 hours each session. And it was taught by my son, who is a filmmaker. He lives in Los Angeles, so he flies in and and teaches this class for me. And the kids have made their films at the end of the program. We have about 30 films in our collection that,
Okay.
They've made a lot of films. They're short films, of course, but we have 30 of them, and we have them on our YouTube channel. And so that program is just something that we really think is important because it gives a voice to the young people that take this class. You can come in, you don't have to know anything about filmmaking. In that 10 weeks, you will learn. And then at the end of the 10 weeks, you can make your own film. We've had 4 students that have gone on to university as filmmakers and have graduated. And so that, and then other students that didn't go to school for film as a major, but still make films every year. And they come back and they'll help us with the projects that we're doing. So that's our film class. We did cut it down after COVID to 5 weeks. We just felt that the kids didn't have the same attention. We don't know. Hopefully it can grow back into a longer program, but it was really kind of hard. But that's the film program, and out of that, we have started the film festival. So, and I think it's the first African American film festival in the Quad Cities for sure. I don't know about in the rest of Iowa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And when is that again?
This year we're doing June 6th through the 9th. We've got our dates because the different venues, we had to lock that down.
Okay.
We are going to be at the Last Picture House, and they were very gracious about asking us, would you like for us to host this? And we said, sure, thank you. And so they're one of the venues, and we have the Putnam, who is a partner with Azumbwike. They're another venue, and then the Figge. The Figge is our longest partner because they started with us 9 years ago, letting us show our films there for a premiere. So we're going to have a block of films there as well. And then we have to bring something to the Lincoln Center. So last year we had we had a block here as well, and we had our premiere party too. So yeah.
All right, wonderful. There is so many good things happening here. Our viewers, how do they get in contact with you to learn a little bit more? They might have kids that want to be a part of this. They might want to be a part of this themselves. How do they get in contact with you?
Well, we have a website.
Okay.
And I think it's azumbwike.org or azumbwikearts.org. And I needed flashcards. And we have a phone. And definitely email. And so we have, that one would be azumbwikeartscouncil@gmail.com.
Okay.
So, so that's the biggest way. They can stop by here, but during the winter when we're not running programs, I'm here when I need to be here. So we don't have open all the time, Monday through Friday, that type of thing. One, because I don't really have staff, so I have to go out and take meetings and go do things and stuff like that. So yeah, but usually if they call and it's something that they want to do, and I'm here on Saturdays from 11 to maybe about 2 o'clock. That's a constant. And during the summer, we have for our programs we're open.
All right. Wonderful. Wonderful. This has been great. I tell you, lots of opportunities again. Education, get in here. Go online, make the call, stop in here, learn more. Beautiful place here. Thank you so much for sitting with us today.
And thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yes.
And that'll wrap things up from TNBC here at the Lincoln Center. I hope you enjoyed our tour and learning more about what this place has to offer. For more information on this place and other things that we're working with here at Real Conversations, go to our website, kwqc.com. For all of us here at Real Conversations, I'm Redrick Terry. Thanks so much for joining us. We hope to see you next time.